I do customer success management. What we do, so I'm not a digital specialist like you guys are, but I work with digital specialists like you every day, either agency side or large e-commerces or just in-house SEO content sites and so on. So there's a lot of insights on how the whole SEO process is going for others. So we have this perspective. Maybe you've seen Gosmin's talk yesterday about this new tool that we're introducing, Topic Explorer. We've created a large database of keywords, the largest so far, for Turkey, for Turkish keywords. And I'm going to take you through a couple of queries to understand how you could use this, how it responds to the queries, and how you can interpret the data from there. Following this, how to integrate it into the SEO activity through, I'll be using our platform, SEO Monitor, the main platform, but yeah, you can use other things. So the initial example is that is for shoes, and I'm just going to put this as the generic topic in here, and we're gonna. This is really broad. So if you wanna start the research, you can start as broad as possible, and then narrow it down as soon as you spot the potential opportunities and niches and different market opportunities and so on. Yeah. I have my copy sheet here. I just didn't want to go in Google Translate, so I just created that one from Google Translate. Alright, I'm just checking the Zoom as well. So for this, like I said, since it's so well, we got 2,000 keywords, really high search volume. So maybe the initial perspective can start from here, and then we can take it deeper into the topic here. The site that I've added is I've added it as a pitching site, so there's no connection to them. This flow site. I just looked for a Turkish site with shoes. Their current visibility score for this one is 42%. We got a competitor automatically added in here. This 40% shows us how visible they are out of how visible they could be. So for these 1.5 million searches, the easiest way to put it would be that about half people would get to see their site based on their ranks and the search volumes for the keywords. Looking down in the list, we see, of course, maybe some keywords that some searches that include this shoe word, others that don't, but that are somehow related. With the search volumes, the current rank for the site that we're looking at, and then the ranks of the competitor that we have here. I'm just going to take it on the narrow version. So this is the broader one that gives us more keywords. Of course, the higher search volume. The narrower one uses interprets the connections between them. So we're saying that they're semantically connected keywords, and these have more intersections, let's see. So right now we're getting just 700 keywords and about half of the search volume. For these more specific keywords, we have maybe modern shoes here. I guess they make more sense to you guys, or shoe models and so on. We can add more competitors to understand, okay, what are others doing in this sector for this first keyword that we have here. If we wanted to just look at, let's say, we're the e-commerce site that I've added, we can look at only e-commerce sites, so the ones that have different, they're using e-commerce technologies, or we can look at content sites. So maybe if we're on the agency side and we want to build content for our client and we want to see where to focus, we can look at some content sites in here. Okay, from here, I have the shoe buying, so we're going with the intent now. So we were at 500,000 searches and 700 keywords. I'm just gonna go on the next question as well. So now we have about the same number of keywords, but the search volumes are different. So maybe there's more potential for us to optimize in this one. Some of the keywords you'll see have some groups in here. We're identifying which are the similar variations, so as not to have duplicates. So here, if we were to add all three of them, we would have had extra 10,000 searches for each. In this way, we're keeping the search volume, the overall search volume accurate, and we're looking at the right things here. This, from what my cheat sheet was saying, this is summer shoes. So we see the high search volume. Maybe we want to start tracking the keyword. The useful part here is that we can also check the seasonality for this keyword. In this one, for example, you see, of course, has the drop towards the end of the year. So maybe we're gonna exclude this one. I've just unchecked it. I'm gonna go and add some of these keywords in the application directly, and it's gonna connect to the account that we have there. All right, so after we're exploring the different topics, you can go back and forth between them. Like I said, go narrower. You can exclude some patterns, like if we didn't want to include the discount keywords, I have that one here. We can also look for exclusions, or you can give it a context, like we have in English watch. You can put watch, and then you get results for both watching online shows, let's say, or just the watch that you wear. But if you give it a context, like you say watch in the context of Amazon, it would most likely give you just the wearables. We've excluded those. We got fewer keywords now. So if you're not focusing on, like we have here, the sales, the cheap terms, you can exclude those, or you can add the specific context that you need. Alright, so it's added my keywords in a separate group here. The topic explorer import. About 100 keywords were added. We add them in bulk, but then you go and you put them whichever way you find most suitable. We have a couple of groups that are automatically added in the application. So if you do use the application, it would do a couple of things for you automatically, like some smart groups based on ranks. I've also added a couple with just manual groups. I filtered a few. We can just create another one with, I think we have support choose. And it's just going to do this right away, so it saves some time. And then from here, you can go a bit deeper and have main groups with different product categories or specific services and so on. We can check what the competition is doing, so we've had that in the topic explorer as well. Here the difference is that we can have them grouped and we can look at different keywords, at different competitors on different groups here. This is sort of like a restricted version, like I said, because there's no connection to analytics, to Search Console for this site. So it's just the structure of what it looks like. Important as well for the competition here is that we can check which are the keywords that the competitors have. So of course you have a site like Esmeralda with a lot of keywords. Maybe you can find inspiration here as well, rather than just look for some topics that come off the top of your head. This is a word I remember because it sounds exactly the same in Romanian. And a couple of keywords, you can filter through them. A couple we see that have already been added either through my earlier import or initially, and then maybe we can also start focusing on a couple others that we see here. Again, we have the rank information, the search volumes, and so on.
Madalina, is this a new feature? I think I've never seen this.
For the competitor keywords?
Yeah.
It's not that new. You should have known that.
Only working for pitching account or regular?
No, for the regular ones as well.
Wow.
And now it's, it's taking the keywords from the topic explorer. So we see that there are actually about 400,000 keywords for Explorer because it keeps growing. Like Cosmin was saying yesterday, the database keeps growing. You can.
You release this after than releasing topic explorer.
Yeah. So you can just get more keywords in here if you want to grow in a direction. Like if you don't find how many are these with the groups? If you don't find these 400,000 keywords for this site, or you want a specific niche, this can be requested, and we can grow the database in that direction. So I've added these as well, and you can keep doing this for the research. Another good source for keywords to track in the application, so to track them for daily ranks and to maybe spot more opportunities would be the traffic part. I'm going to switch to one site that do have the traffic graphs. Like I said, this is just the pitching one. There's a module that was missing in there because we're not, we don't have the traffic info. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like just to see what insights you can get from there as well. This is a site for classified ads, so like you have I don't remember the name. There's a site that you have like this one, and after you add the site add the account in the application, you have you connect the analytics, you connect the search console, and we have an algorithm for bringing the not provided keywords. Just gonna zoom out a bit. Those are split into brand and non-brand. So of course we'd be focusing on the non-brand organic traffic. And then, yeah, depending on the size of the site, for this one, for example, there are about 80,000 keywords that we already know are bringing visits. Some of them are being tracked, while the others not. So maybe we can see that, okay, we've been getting some visits in the last month for iPhone 7, so maybe we would start tracking that and things in the same area. You also have the landing page information, which can be helpful for prioritizing the landing pages that you'd be focusing on with their corresponding keywords. So for example, the first one has car sales ads, and about 1,000 keywords have been identified as bringing visits to this page here. With the different variations and some information from Search Console, like the average position. So these are all keywords from your accounts, but that it would be really hard to do it without an automatic solution. We've been through the campaign part, we've been to the competition, so we understand where the traffic is coming from. We've done the research, the keywords research part. We know where the competitors are. Maybe we have, like I said, some specific competitors on, I don't know, the winter boots, like we had the shoes, e-commerce, or we have auto ads here. So maybe we have specific sites that are only doing this category. We look at and compare apples with apples. So we're comparing these for the keywords in the specific groups for the corresponding search volumes. We see where changes happen, either positive or negative, and then we can tell what the trends are, let's see. And then after we understand, so we get the full picture, we have the option to create a forecast for specific time frames. The default version is just 1 year. And what we have here is the traffic that we'd be getting. So the bottom part here is the traffic that we'd be getting if we didn't change anything. Now, I've selected a couple of groups. Say for the following year, we're only gonna focus on improving, say getting to an average of top 5 with like the real estate ads, because this is the ad site, or the cars one, and another one with jobs. The green part on top of that graph is that shows an improvement, is the traffic that we'd be getting if we manage to get these results for our client, for our company. This means an additional number of visits, of course, additional conversions, and so on. There's information on what we'd be what we have to pay in order to get the same number of visits, so these 750,000 visits for these for the keywords in these groups, if we were to use only AdWords. So basically, if you keep the SEO budget under this number, you can see that you're already saving money. And then there is a moderate probability of us achieving these results, and this is also calculated, so it's not just an estimation. It starts with, of course, our current position, so the overall difficulty, how hard it would be for us to get to the top positions for the specific groups. We see how the overall visibility would change, and we also can look at seasonality, because of course maybe we'd be expecting these spikes here from December to January, just they would happen naturally even without SEO efforts. So to have the full picture, we need to look at this at the same time. To know whether to correlate the traffic growth with to understand it as a result, as a positive consequence of our SEO efforts, or to know if it's just seasonality and trends. We can set this up, and then it would be tracked on a daily basis. Of course, we see how far we are from our goal here, and we can always keep an eye on it, know whether we're on track with one campaign or maybe one specific search engine. If you were monitoring different search engines for the same site, and have different campaigns for those. And then we keep doing this and reiterating, let's say. Again, if we wanted to, say, include other groups in the forecast, or at one point we see some big trends coming up, we can also include that in different forecasts. This is sort of like the full, not the full, like a mini walkthrough for going from the topics, doing the whole research, and then how we're understanding the data and moving further to daily monitoring the different campaign, or maybe winning pitches and so on. If you guys have questions, we have a couple of cards here. The tool, the Topic Explorer, is absolutely free, so you can use this one. By all means, give us any kind of feedback. You can request, like I said, there's the green button there to request expansion. You have it in Turkish. My browser is set up for English, and that's why it's in English, but you have it in Turkish as well, and you can check out the videos and so on.
Can I ask?
Yes, please.
I tried the Topic Explorer yesterday, and I wonder that when you haven't entered any website and search for a topic,
Yeah, it
chooses a website.
It sort of chooses like we have here, the most relevant competitor. It would choose the most visible site on that topic.
Yeah, yesterday it chose the one of the lower visibility website, not the higher one. It chooses with relevancy?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It's not just the visibility, but also the number of intersections, like I said, like the ones that are also relevant for the specific topic and for the keywords that we're looking at. That's why we're also getting different one if we're switching from the narrow version to broad, because we have more keywords in here, and then of course maybe those semantical connections are different.
So I can answer a bit here. So if you see at some point that so you feel that something is not relevant, you can just request with the yellow button, and we will take a manual look at that. Because we're in beta, that can happen. There can be cases where it's not, maybe something is not relevant, or you feel like something can be better in a specific area, and we can improve that. We just released this yesterday, so. But yeah, we will automatically select the first two websites here, depending on their visibility score, but also how many keywords they're ranking for in the entire topic. So even if, let's say, we have a topic with 1 million searches, but 500 million are on a single keyword. So if they would rank only on one keyword, we will not give them that much authority, because it's just one keyword from one topic. So we look at how many and how visible, what ranks they have.
Oh, nothing else? Then we'll be waiting for your question and feedback. And there's the chat button here. It's either me or my colleague Olivia on the other side. So by all means, just get us. Yes?
By the way, I wonder how much time it will be free.
For you, it may lifetime. This one. The lifetime of the product. So if the product is up in Turkey, you have access, you the participants. But you have to use the code and create a username, an account. You also see here, this I didn't present yesterday, you see that there's a message saying that the rank successfully processed, which means we just refreshed all the ranks for you. And that means we called and we got new ranks for all the keywords you're seeing there. In order to be notified, this process may take up to a few minutes. So you can continue to research, and when it's ready, if you're subscribed to notifications, you just will get a browser notification that is ready to click and get the fresh results. That's the process. I think you went for the mobile version or something.
No, I just scrolled right and I'm zoomed in on. If I do this,
okay, you can just mobile version. Okay, other questions?